What up, my man of society? It is your host with the most, Shadow Look, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. That is how you help my channel get into the algorithm. Highly appreciate you. Go ahead and do that. Now, what I wanted to get into was actually a conversation, that I was having with several individuals, actually. One of the things is that a lot of people say that, I hate on my raza and that I don't give my raza credit for what they have done and stuff like that. And that is absolutely not true. I'm prideful in where I come from, right? I have it tattooed on me, Jalisco, Mexico. You know, um, I have pride in my culture, but I could only come and spit the facts, bro. I'm not gonna lie, just because I want to make my people look good. Facts are facts. That's just the way it is. You may not like the facts, but it doesn't change the facts. You know, and I do give my people credit, right? But when we're talking about what my people should be credited for, right? Like the actual stuff that they're because Raza has done a lot of great things and, have played a role in society, right? But just not with the things that certain individuals think that they have, right? Example, like with the whole Chicano culture, right? Because you're talking about a culture that was built off of different people's cultures, because we were oddball, we were misfits. We were stuck in the middle of two worlds, the Americas and our roots, right? So these individuals were grabbing stuff, that they like from different ethnicities to build their own stilo. You get what I'm saying? Um, because, like I said, it was just one of those things where it's like your people come from a different country, but now you guys are living in a different country, right? So you can't relate with the people that from that country or from the homeland because you're a misfit to both worlds, right? Because you're not seen a part of neither world in the eyes of those who are originally from those lands, right? So, that's why, when it comes to the whole, pachuco or sutsus or cholos and all that, when you look at, symbols or lingo or dress code, their roots come from different cultures. Because, like I said, they were just grabbing, different things that they like to build their stilo. You get what I mean? And that's just the facts of things. That's why when you be like, well, how come, then what you're saying is that we have no roots to our actual whatever. When it comes to Chicanos, no, because like I said, bro, they grab stuff from different cultures. Because Chicano's not really like its own ethnicity. You know what I mean? Because it's not. Um, you're born in the Americas, but your family comes from the motherlands. So therefore, how could you possibly create something? You know what I mean? They were taking inspirations from other people's cultures, right? Example, the suits, pachucos. One of the things that's heavily praised within the Chicano or pachuco, however you want to label it, right? But that in itself was created by blacks. And like, damn, bro, you need to get off of their nuts. I know, like how people be putting, but bro, you can be mad at the facts, but the facts are the facts, bro. A black person was the creator of the fucking outfit itself. Harold C. Fox, who was black. He was a creator. Tailor slash musician. He was a jazz player. And also made clothes, right, in the East Coast. Bro, what are you gonna say that's not true? I mean, he's a fucking creator, bro. He literally is the one that made the fucking clothes, and he's black, right? So him, since he was a musician, obviously he would wear his clothes. I mean, he's a creator, and his band, right? And that started catching on with other jazz players. Other jazz players started, now buying, suits and wearing it like that, right? Now, you also have to keep in mind, jazz was a big thing back in the days, bro. It was different from what everybody was used to hearing, right? So now you have this new music that remember, jazz players were only allowed to play like in these areas that were segregated, right? So they were only allowed to play in areas that are, I guess, where people of color would live at, right? Right. So to them, this music was for them, for people of color, for the ones that understand the struggle, know what it's like. You know what I mean? So this was new to them, right? Like like the sound, the lyrics. It was just something that people weren't used to hearing, right? So this started to it started hitting, right? Like people started, digging it, going to these little locations where these bands were playing, right? And it started getting popping. It started being popular, right? So then jazz players now started touring to different states, right? With their music and stuff like that. And you already know, with young individuals, right? They always want to be, where it's popping, where it's cracking, where it's cool to be at. You get what I'm saying? That's what young people want to do. They want to be into mischief. They want to be where the cool kids are at. They want to be doing what's popping. That doesn't just apply just to blacks or white. It applies to every young youth, right? Want to be a part of what's hip, what's in. You see it nowadays, right? What's trending. People want to be a part of that. That's why they all gravitate to the same thing, right? So in this times, that was popping, in these ghetto areas where these individuals were growing up, including Raza. That's where Raza was coming up too, sharing the ghettos with. Because remember, when segregation was happening and mistreatment, sitting in the back of the bus, not able to eat in the same restaurants as white folks. This wasn't only just happening towards blacks. That's the thing that people have to get to their heads. It was happening to people of color, meaning Mexicans as well. They shared the same struggle with black folks. You know what I mean? It's not that we're trying to or attach ourselves to that, or that we're trying to steal some of their limelight. No, because lynching, back of the bus, all the mistreatment was happening to people of color, including Raza. They were getting lynched as well and mistreated, right? So they could relate to each other, right? And these people were going to these schools together and stuff like that, right? Because people of color had to be in the same schools. They couldn't be with the white folks. So now you had them now going to these locations where these jazz bands are playing, right? And everybody's now going to dance and to get it cracking, right? To have a good time, you know? So they started, digging the jazz players, and just like nowadays, you see how these young folks, Edgars and Type Band, because they're copying the rappers, their favorite rappers, and what they do. That's not something that's new that people just started doing that. People have always done that. You know, the music was the trendsetters, and these young youths wanted to be like them, right? Wanted to be like the ones that were getting shit cracking and popping. So they started, now dressing like these jazz players. You know, like the suits. You know what I mean? Pachucos. And no, it didn't catch on with Raza. It didn't catch on first in Los Angeles. It catched on first in the East Coast, with the Puerto Ricans and all that. And then, like towards Louisiana, because as many people want to say, there was no Mexicans out there. Go, look, you don't have to take my word for it. Who the fuck am I for you to believe me? Go and educate yourself on this, right? Because it's public record. You can go look it up and then come back and we can have these conversations. I'm not just somebody who talks just for the simple fact of talking. I know what I'm saying. Go educate yourself. Go look it up and then come back and we can have these discussions. But don't automatically assume that there was no raza in like Louisiana and places like that. Please. Go and then come back, bro. You know what I mean? And then we'll talk. So, raza down there, and then they started now moving on to like places like Texas, when these jazz groups now started traveling and new jazz groups started forming and stuff like that. And in Texas, right, it started becoming a big thing. It grew large, right, the whole jazz scene and everything like that. Then you had individuals moving from Texas to Los Angeles, bringing now their stilo and stuff like that, right? So that is how we got it here in California, right? But not to say that, see, they thought that, okay, seeing these Raza individuals, right? They thought that's what, all these individuals are the creators, but actually they got it from these jazz band groups, right? And those are just the facts, bro. I mean, you can go and argue with the history, my guy. Go and say that the guy that actually fucking made the outfit isn't black, because he is, right? So then, individuals like the whole stilo and stuff like that, and now it started spreading, right? Now, even though the blacks were the creators, right? The razas really what elevated the zoot suits and pachuco style, bro. Because then when it started becoming problematic, right? Like you had these riots and you had these clash. These jazz groups started changing the way they started changing their stilo, because it was fucking up their business, bro. It was bringing too much unwanted drama to what they had going on, right? So they just seen it better if they just started now changing it up, because they just didn't want to deal with the bullshit, right? But you already know Just like how nowadays you see these, gangster rappers like Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, and all that. They started changing their stilo, right? Because they didn't want to be a part of the negativity and all that. Like just like back then, right? They changed their style, but these individuals in the streets still dress the same, still with the gangster attire, even though these individuals have moved on past that already. Same with the Zootsus, even though these individuals changed, these individuals still kept it and kept it pushing. You know what I mean? So made it to what it is now. You know what I mean? A lot of these rappers have moved on from gangster rap or rapping that gangster thing, but you see these Chicanos are still rapping that gangster thing though. We're kind of just like, I guess we we're just like, nah, how we truly don't, us Chicanos here, right? We truly don't have like, our own thing, right? I know we're Mexicans and stuff like that, and we have our, our music to us and our thing. But meaning as Chicanos, those who feel Chicano, because obviously in Mexico you're not seen as Mexican if you're not born there, and here you're not seen as American, right? That's why it's so hard to have these conversations, right? When it comes to these topics, because we're talking about something that's unique, right? Something, because a Chicano is something that's unique. You weren't born in your motherland, in your homeland, right? So those people don't see you as a true Mexican. And since your people come from over there, these Americans don't see you as a true American, right? So you have a unique situation, like that. And that's the reason why you have a lot of these people saying that this is not true, that's not true, right? Because they're trying to mix what a Mexican is with what a Chicano is, when there's two different things, right? Even though, they correlate with each other, like, Ben Davis, oldies and all that. It's seen in Mexico as Mexican, like that's the Mexican stilo, right? They're gonna be like, este güey, ¿qué? Like, ¿dónde están tus guaraches, tu tejana, tus botas, güey? You know what I mean? And so they grabbed other people's, stuff and made it ours, right? A part of our culture. Right, same with the cross tattoo, you know what I mean, with the things, right? That's something that came from the gypsies, actually, not even from like Mexicans or even Americans, but gypsies, right? And even with the three dots, for those who are interested, you can go check out the video I dropped it on this channel, right? Speaking about all of that, right? And how it's something that it's throughout different parts of the world, not just a cholo thing, right? So you can peep out that video, right? But it's the same thing, right? So therefore, that's just a little brief, fast, breakdown of where it comes from, right? If you guys are interested in the topic more, I can make a longer video on going in depth and more stuff. Just let me know. But overall, what are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments and shout out. We out.